Okay, so we're at the Kingfisher Sprint 3 review. This is our feature freeze, and so after today, we should be feature frozen. I've heard of possibly a couple minor exceptions, but we can discuss those later. So this sprint was only 2 weeks long, going from May 1st to the 12th. We'll get started with the platform. One of the changes we did was I felt like the last review is too focused on the retrospectives. We do want to make sure that accomplishments are called out. And then in terms of retrospective comments, if folks have thoughts around it, let me know. I've noticed that some folks have added their burn down charts to their sites, so we can review those also. Okay, thanks. We'll start with the platform then.
Yeah, so essentially this sprint was really focused on sort of bug fixes because we had a cord release coming. And so the two really big things that happened during the sprint was fixing Sarav's issue, but it's not totally fixed, but it seems like we fixed a big portion of it. He did report like several days later that he was able to produce some timeouts. And then we also spent a lot of time on timeouts when starting clusters on the VMs. And I actually just submitted a patch for that I'm pretty sure fixes it. And also, so that's 6401. And also, basically that patch fixes the performance regression inside of Copycat. So I think it may also fix some other regressions.
Somebody there with you, Jordan?
It looks like show is not muted.
In the meantime, I can speak to the first one. Basically, we fixed an exploit that some people were able to upload malicious applications through the REST API of the UI, and we basically had to secure a little more of those APIs through the web.xml file. That's ONOS security.
We actually have a separate JIRA for security issues, and we probably shouldn't be discussing them until we actually have them released and is available as an advisory. But yes, we're working through some security issues.
Oh yeah, and that's why I put triage several security files. So yeah, and other than that, I've been looking into various security issues that we have on the other security JIRA. And still in progress. We have Sarav's HA issues, waiting for more logs to see what else remains there. And then 5896 still investigating the loss of links when those disconnect.
Okay. Is that it, Jordan?
Yeah, and then, well, as far as retrospective, I sort of think, I mean, obviously, these types of HA bugs are really difficult to estimate. So I think we spent way longer looking into 6401. I mean, we've been looking at it for like a week. I don't think we thought it would take that long, but that's about it. So.
Okay. Thanks, Jordan. Web UI. Simon?
Yeah, hi. So yeah, this last sprint was basically tying up loose ends on the highlighting model for topology 2 so that we could visualize traffic in that arena. And we have a demonstration later on to show you that working now. There are a number of bugs that we fixed. And then there was one kind of feature request that was to do with basically if you were to put the just the host name and number in the address bar to automatically go to the web UI But on investigation, it was discovered that it's not just a trivial fix, so we need to kind of circle back with Thomas and get some architectural input on how to solve this one. And as you can see, with our burn down, apart from a shaky start, we actually did pretty well this time, so we're pretty pleased. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Deployment?
Yeah, so we finished the VPLS refactoring. The code that went in was merged. It was tested. It's under test both in Giant and has been deployed recently in NCTU. Then we sent in all the patches related to meter refactoring done by Jordi. Well, to be honest, I need to merge them because Jenkins had a little problem, so yeah. I just need to basically rebase them and merge them. So I may need like half an hour after the meeting to do that. And then VPLS and SDN IP have been deployed in JGN X, in the testbed of Japan. And then we're moving forward with the ONOS deployment at Comcast. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Luca. Pack it up.
Sorry, I didn't put the burn down chart, but essentially we completed everything we scheduled.
Okay.
Shall I go again?
Yes.
So quite a few things were done. I'm gonna jump in whenever you want. So we added support for OpenFlow 1.4 devices. Fixed a Juniper driver. I think this was with
this was because from GateNet. There was some port issues and some other parsing problems that we encountered with the Juniper driver, and we debugged it and helped Michele fix it.
Yeah. We have a more sophisticated or added a new feature to our PCE, make it Lambda aware or resource aware. Some cleanup in terms of deprecated optical ports. I think 1.6, so we're it was long overdue anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We removed them from the core and moved them to the ONOS optical application, and we just had minor changes to make in some pieces of the code, especially in the p-step southbound. I hope that doesn't impact the usability of anybody, but I tested it, it should work.
Yeah. The next one, I really don't know what.
Yeah, basically that was as part of the alarm thing that we're doing with Netconf devices. We discovered that the alarm ID and the alarm construction were not exactly into the same level of quality as other pieces of IDs in the code base. So we changed them a little bit, making in order to make the alarm ID unique and not having any clashes on that side, and just not that big patch and not that good. It was useful to have unique IDs and unique usability of the alarm class. That's kind of it.
Then a bunch of bug fixes in the resource tracking. As Jordan is working, we're experiencing other things on our side as well, fixing bugs. Added open ROADM support. A huge thanks to the people there are listed. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I handed it off to AT&T, and now they can start playing with it. Still in progress is the ONOS Loxy upstreaming. Yeah, I guess everyone knows it's a complicated story in a way. And then the last one is one that is going to stay open. It's really testing open ROADM, but I don't have any devices to test it with. So I hope the community or AT&T will step up and confirm that it works or doesn't work, because we can't really do it. I copied our UI guy, Simon's slide, so it was a great idea to put the burn down chart there. I guess there's only 2 tickets that were not handled. One is, I just told you I can't do it. The other one, I don't really remember which one is still open. But apart from that, I think we made good progress. Yeah, kind of, it's flat in the beginning, and suddenly we realize, hey, the end of sprint is there. Start closing. but yeah, I guess as long as the work gets done, it's the most important point.
Yep, completely agreed. Definitely, so long as the work is done. Thanks, Mark. NetConf?
That's me. So we had a useful discussion with some members in the community about replacing the library, the underlying SSH library of the NetConf subsystem, because the one we had was old and not worked on anymore, so no bug fixes, no new features, so we wanted to change that. We sent a document, we discussed it, and in the end we chose Apache Mina as the new library for the NetConf SSH subsystem, and I implemented it. Now it's a default library for anybody that wants to go with the old library for any possible problems that he is encountering with this one. We left it in with a flag that you can select to fall back on the old library if you want. But the new library should support many new features. And just to give a quick idea, some guy from Microsemi, which we are working with for the Eco project, told me that with this library, the setup time of his devices that for this specific things are very slow, became from 90 seconds to 30 seconds, because he was able to change some keys exchange thanks to the new functionality of the library. So that is a good result. Thanks to Utah that transformed the target configuration into an identifier class to have it extendable as per NetConf RFC description. We also changed a little bit to the NetConf alarm provider to support event time with milliseconds. That was a very quick fix. And thanks to somebody in the community, the name escapes my mind right now, that helped us to put in the NetConf 1.1 chunked termination characters, because in NetConf 1.0 there was some termination of the message. Then they realized that it was a valid XML pattern, so they couldn't use it anymore. And now in NetConf 1.1, they put in some new pattern for that. And thanks to this guy, it was implemented in ONOS. So now we both support NetConf 1.0 and NetConf 1.1 termination. Nothing left for internal review and nothing in progress. It all got done what we planned for. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrea. Virtualization?
Hi, this is Yunsan. So in this sprint, we merged the 7 static commits. So the 31 is proposed, and the 4 bug fixes is we found some major and minor bugs during the sprint. So there is no tickets, but obviously 1 or 2 bugs are quite critical, so we fixed it. And for awaiting merger review, we have a 4 commit over on there, but most of the 2 or 3 more commits that we already leave, first one remaining to be merged. But we postponed the merging this code because that this sprint is for feature picks, so this feature release pick, so that one is only contains interface and the simple skeleton code. So we don't want to merge this one for the release. So we're a little bit delayed merging this commit to the next sprint. And in progress, we have 2 commits. One is for we develop message service for virtual device. Second one is develop virtual gateway to give us some capability for each virtual network to communicate with external network. Okay, that's it. What we've done in this sprint.
Okay, thanks, Yunsan. Dynamic config?
So I did not update the sites. I guess Thomas did it. So I don't have the bug IDs. The major work that we have completed is the Young compiler. 2.0 is ready for released with Kingfisher. In progress activities are the live compiler, the fixing the class names, generated class names, and some bug fixes. So all the work that has happened for the sprint is in the Yang tool chain. That's it from me.
Okay, so I know that some of this was considered an exception for the feature freeze. I think Thomas wanted to get some of these in by Monday.
Okay.
And then Northbound?
Yeah. So
So
do
we have,
you want to start the new intent installer stuff?
Yeah, first we have an new intent domain, which install the intent domain to the system. And next is we fix the intent through regression, which reported by QA team. And third is the intent installer redesign. We have a big change of the intent installer. Allows now we allows application to use their custom intent installer, and I will give a quick demo later. And we have one in progress is fix some incorrect condition of building objective from the compiler. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Yi. I don't have an update on gRPC. I'm not quite sure where Aaron's at.
Not here in the room.
I think PT.
Not sure if it's online.
Okay, we'll move on to build and package. Vishwa was not able to join, and Brian is on PTO. But what Vishwa mentioned was that they're having a slow start due to team formation, work week travel. So a lot of what they're working on is currently in progress. So what they had signed up for was to create a prototype pipeline job. On Jenkins 2, there's a web UI fix. The analysis categorization was, there's talk about using Git, but they wanted to pull the community to see if Git was a barrier to entry to try to do documentation. Support for embedded dependency, and then analysis manifest hello world is they're looking at, as part of the code basis aggregation, the repo tools. So this was creating a simple manifest file for that. So we will move on to QA. Sorry, wrong slide.
Okay. So there's a couple things that we finished that were, I guess, in progress from the last sprint. So the first two bin with allocation tests, and then improving the functionality tests for stability. So those got merged. There's another ticket, which is moving the scale and performance testing to a Jenkins pipeline. That wasn't officially part of the sprint, but we've been kind of working on it on and off for the last 2 sprints or so. So that got merged this sprint, and we're now running all of our tests on that. There was some more work on the performance white paper, updating graphs and things like that that Yo did. And then the intent throughput regression that got fixed. And then still in progress is investigating some SDNIP test failures where the number of flows after some link events doesn't match the hard-coded values that we have. So I think in terms of retrospective, I think we did okay. I guess we didn't realize when we were planning that Shreya and Pratik were leaving this week. So I think we accepted a few more stories that we didn't start. For example, there was one where we were planning on writing a resource manager test that didn't get started. So we'll carry that over. Next slide. So for bug stats, this sprint we resolved 38 and 24 were created, which leaves us with a total of 160 open bugs. So we listed some high priority bugs. A lot of them are similar to last time. There's some HA bugs and some performance regressions. I don't know if Yo has any thing he wants to specifically highlight. And some of these are in progress, like 6422 is the one that Jordan was working on. And I think that is closed. We just need to verify it. Any questions?
John, as we do planning for the next sprint, this is Bill. Do you have a plan to do a bug scrub?
Yeah, so we actually did one yesterday with Yen and Thomas. I think there were, 14 bugs, I think, that we were tracking. Some of them were already in progress and just needed to be reviewed and merged. And then I think some were still to be worked on.
There was one that was identified as a must fix for this release, and so we should throw that on the top of the list. I think Jordan was supposed to be covering that, so we should let Jordan know.
So Jan, yeah, we listed them as based on the priority, but we thought that we will bring it up as part of the sprint planning so that we can prioritize these bugs, like we discussed yesterday.
Okay.
So maybe we can discuss more on the first two bugs, and then we can prioritize them further.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thanks, John. Sujitra. Let's move on to the list. Jian?
Okay. So in this sprint, we mainly focused on three things. So first, we added the web GUI for mapping managed app, and the web GUI is quite simple, which comprised of a table view with a detailed panel to enumerate mapping entries that's stored in a system. And also, in topology overlay, we designed a detailed panel through which we can directly navigate to the mapping table view. And second, several bugs were reported, so we spent some time to fix them. So to be more specific, we set the default state as added for newly added mappings by router, and previously the state was set as pending added, so by default. So we also made the mapping state storage type identical in CLI and the REST API to preserve the type consistency. And third, UPMC LIP6 group reported their second performance assessment result to us. So it's shown that with 100,000 incoming map register packet per second, LISP SPI shows a 3 millisecond processing latency and 5% packet loss with their testbed environment, so which is pretty good result. And we are still in the middle of tuning the performance for mapping request processing speed, and hopefully this can be done in upcoming sprint. And that's all we have in this sprint. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Jian. Here's the update from Houston. They've been updating the wiki pages and set up some automated functional test environment. There's a bunch of fixes ready to merge. What it's not clear to me is it seems like they're not merged, so I don't think it'll be in this release. And then they're waiting for the ONOS Loxy. But my understanding is the changes will not make it into 1.10, at least based upon where things are currently at. So the only exception I know of for sure was the dynamic config runtime compiler. Is that it? Okay, So that's the only thing we're waiting for, and then we'll have a support branch and everything set up for the next release. Kingfisher Sprint 4 will start next week. We'll have a sprint planning session next Monday. So it's a 2+, essentially 2.5 weeks. Release will be on 31. We're actually changing this, so I'll let you know timing for that soon. Actually, I think we're looking at May 30th for that. Thomas and I just went through an L release planning discussion, so I'll update on the schedule for that soon. And then planning is next Monday at 3. This is the hardening sprint, so a support branch will be created probably on Monday. And then the intent is that only defects will go on that branch. So all new work will stay on master. Sprints will be closed in Jira after this meeting, and I'll create new ones so that folks can populate it for Monday's meeting.
Jan, can you wait half an hour so we are sure to merge Jordi's patches, because Jenkins didn't trigger the build this morning. So we just have to make sure that they are triggered, they are passed, and they're merged.
Yeah, let's say even 1 hour.
Let's say even 1 hour. We can. I'll send you a message when we're done. Is that okay for you?
For the Jira tickets?
No, for this for the branch.
Support branch will do it Monday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, the rest.
Yes, there were too many things going on, and we had this whole chat thing going on with Ray, where he was waiting for all of these things to go, and so we decided it was best to wait till Monday so that Ray didn't have a heart attack.
So I'll close. Sure. Well, can you wait just a few minutes before closing Jira, so I make sure to everything needs to be closed.
Okay, I'll wait till 3.
Sure.
Okay.
That would be great. Please.
Sounds good. And then we've got demos, so. Okay, so I will stop sharing, and then Simon, you can take over.
Right. Do I pull sharing or do you push it?
I will stop, and then I can change presenter to you. There.
Okay. So hopefully you can see UI on the left and terminals on the right. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I have set up here is a very simple topology of 6 switches interconnected, each with a host. I'm running them on Mininet, as you can see. For the purposes of this demo, if you look in the navigation bar, we have topology that everyone's familiar with, but we also have the topology 2 layout. Just so you can figure out what's going on, I did a kind of sketch here. What we've done in a script, I'm not going to show you the script, but what we've done in the script is configure 3 regions, A, B, and C, which where region A contains switches 1 and 2, 3 and 4 in region B, and 5 and 6 in region C. So hopefully you can kind of make more sense of what you're seeing in the topology view. So just to show here, if I were to do H1 ping, let's make it large enough to actually show up to H6, you'll see that we've got the ping going here, and we can view the traffic using port stats for bits per second, and you can see the traffic across those links. Okay, so if we now go into topology 2, what we're seeing is the root layer, and this is just showing the regions A, B, and C. And again, if we monitor port stats, you can see that the data is being aggregated up into the links between the regions. If we were to drill down into region A, you can see now that we're down in region A, and you can see switches 1 and 2, and you can see the traffic on the link from the host to switch 1. Now, what we didn't manage to get complete in this this sprint was the links from switches to the peer regions. So on this view, you've not only have you got the switches and the hosts, but you've also got nodes that represent neighboring peers. So there should be a link from switch 1 to region B, and there should be traffic on this. Moving on, if we look at region B, again, there should be a link from region A to switch 3 to region C, and there should be traffic showing up on here. And then if we were to navigate to region C, you'll see that we've got traffic showing up on switch 6 to the host. So that's really a very quick demonstration of the traffic. There's a little bit of latency here. I think we may have to fix that by caching like the last value. It's basically waiting for the next poll of the stats for those to turn up. But if I were to, just for another quick example, kill this one and do host 1 to host 2, just to show that this does work, we can look at the port stats. Actually, that was packets. Port stats bits per second. There we go. You've got the traffic on the regular topology, and then if we go into topology 2, and again make sure that we're actually monitoring packets per second, there's no cross-region traffic. But if we were to drill into, oh, hang on, sorry. What you're seeing there is actually packets per second, and it was picking up the LLDP packets. But if we go for bits per second, you'll see that there's no traffic here. But if we drill into region A we're just waiting for the next poll, you'll see that we've got the traffic in here too. So that's it, kind of hopefully short and sweet demonstration. Thanks.
Simon, I have a question. So these regions, that's a UI specific construct, right?
No, it's actually, regions are a model object on ONOS.
Okay, okay, I didn't know that, but the other question is, this is a kind of 2-layer thing. Can we make this deeper?
Yeah, it's actually multi-layer. This is just a very simple configuration just to test the aggregation of traffic data. But yeah, it's arbitrary how deep you go.
Could be 3 levels deep or more if I want.
Sure. It could be a global view down to a country view, down to a metropolitan view, down to a data center.
Okay.
Is this documented on the wiki, Simon?
No, that's Sprint 4.
Okay.
Sprint 4, we're hoping to basically do any minor bug fixes and document as much of this as we can.
Okay.
Pulling up on what Mark said, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it looks like this region abstraction may have like multiple uses, and it's kind of maybe worth thinking about that more if you haven't already.
Do I need to relinquish control? Yes, there we go. I think that did that.
Okay, so
yeah, I made you a presenter. Okay.
Okay, so I will give a very quick demo. Change the info dynamically by application. So if any users or developer want to use their own intent installer, for example, currently the flow row intent installer only install the flow rows coming from the generated by compiler. They will generate the flow row intent, and the flow row installer will install the flow rows directly to the device. And so if the application wants to translate the flow rows to flow rows plus groups, they can develop their own custom intent installer for the flow row intent installer, for flow row intent, sorry. So now we have ONOS, and we can see the intent installer. Okay, we can see there are 4 installable intents. One for example, the flow row intent will use the default flow row intent installer. So we develop an application which contains their the custom intent installer. So now we install the application. I just modify the intent forwarding example application. Okay, and activate it. So we can see intent installer change to the for the for intent will use the custom intent installer from the intent forwarding application, and so we can also try what? Wait a second. Oh, the minute disconnect. Give me a few seconds to deploy the minute. Okay, so after the host app and the host pinch each other host, we can see it will install a lot of host intent, and the switch will install 4 rows plus groups. So okay, so now we can ping and we can check the ONOS. We can see there's some intents installs and flows, also some groups, but something is keep camping at install. We need to wait the map, but it did install the groups and the flows by custom intent installer.
So essentially, you can have different installers there at the same time, right?
Yes.
This is the big news of
you can change the intent installer if you want.
At runtime,
at
by the way.
Yeah, at runtime.
At runtime, but then all those intents will go to that intent installer.
Installable intent. For example, you compile the host-to-host intent to forward intent. Then the forward intent will use your custom intent installer to install.
What happens to intents that are already installed by the previous installer?
No, currently not. You just change the installer. It don't affect any intent which installed.
So how do you uninstall those old intents which are installed by another installer?
Well, I think you don't at the moment, but it remains unchanged. It's not the desired behavior for sure. It's a feature or call it a bug, I don't know. It remains unchanged. I think the bigger news this time is that before you were choosing one installer, not at runtime, but at compilation time before, right? And that was it. You could not change it. You could not use more than one installer at once. With this one, the big modification that was done was that you can have multiple installers running in parallel. Like in this case, it was installing groups and flows, and you can swap it at runtime from your application for any reason. So it's more pluggable and
Do you detect conflicts just at the floater level?
What I mean conflict.
Does the conflict detection at the floater level, I guess, or is it at the intent level?
I think the flow manager will.
Floater manager. The floater manager will so you can't use the new intent installer to uninstall or uninstall all the intent that stays there. Could you reload the old intent installer and then install it, or will that is the intent not persistent, or will it forgotten about it?
That's a good point. I don't know actually.
And actually issued currently didn't reload the intent, which you already so it can be a
Okay, can I add one question? You mentioned intent domain on the slide. So is this related or not? Because for me, the intent domain kind of means I have this set of switches, and I use this kind of installer for it, and I have another set of switches, and I use that.
Yeah, so if you see, indeed, there's the intent domain installer, right? So the intent domain was merged just before, I guess.
Yes, they have already the installer here. There's a logic to install the intent domain, domain intent with domain intent service. So the domain intent installer just use the domain intent service to install the domain intent.
That's what I don't fully understand.
So I think, no, but at very high level, right, the intent is modified, is translated into flow rules. And as far as I know, the intent domain just translates an intent in other intent, right?
It will handled by the
I don't know.
domain.
Well, essentially, this is how I got it, right? And so, as you have basically a driver, let's call it, to transform intent and translate it into flow rules, so you have a kind of driver to compile an intent into other intents, right? Or configurations or stuff that you need, right? And so you have also this specific installer, as you have another installer for example, flow objectives, instead of normal flow rules, which is the one that makes use also of groups, for example, instead of just simple flows. But I guess you guys can take it offline.
Yeah,
it was just very high level, my comment, but.
Okay. Yeah. So should I?
Yeah, and we're done on this side.
Should I stop showing the screen by my computer?
Yeah, you can. Thanks. Okay, I think that's it for us. So the plan is to close out the Jira sprints at 3. I'll create new ones. And then we'll try to get the support branches set up on Monday pending the dynamic config exceptions. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else, folks?
Perfect.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.